Kalush out, though. Kalush was the anchor that helped win them that Marvel Rival Championship. And so without him, you're now going to have Techie taking over that shield tank role. Going to be interested to see what he can pull off. Going against Sentinels, let's see what they can bring as we start out our first map.
Capture the mission area.
The gates are opened here, and with the amount of Doctor Strange plays that we see, we're not seeing that from AILANIWIND, but we had seen it previously before, and it's been quite interesting to see how aggressive these teams start off the rip. Can't really pull that off against the likes of Sentinels, though, as we see Nectar already getting set up into position to match up versus Goma, who's on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. I love Right Amazing here on the Human Torch. We've seen that a lot on this map in particular. Great for the zones, as we're going to see if we can get an early Wolverine kidnap to open things up there, potentially on the Magneto. He goes for it, but unfortunately does not land it, but going to charge up on those crew walls is Goma. We got Wolverine, Logan v. Logan.
And the way that AILANIWIND have just like walked on top of the point, but the priority here for Sentinels is to keep up this poke pressure just to build into some more of these ults.
Yeah, absolutely here. Great job getting the initial point. I got to point that out right away. AILANIWIND getting the first cap is often the most important. If they don't win this first fight, if they can't win this first fight, that would be a huge way to open up your Ignite presence. Suppressor doing a good job zoning out Right Amazing on that Human Torch, just keeping the poke and keeping them at bay, but Right Amazing going right for it, Vicky.
Ooh, but Crimzo opening things up, getting that first pick onto ice. That sets AILANIWIND to be at a disadvantage, even with Prince trying to fully commit into the internal bond, as well as the Gru ult too from Crimzo, waiting for the perfect timing to utilize that. This wastes out that Prince ult that we saw from the Cloak and Dagger, and matching that here too from the other side with Crimzo now finding Goma.
And look, well, Crimzo did the ult, but it was blocked by the internal bond, and then Aramori as Loki. You don't often see it. It's usually a support. Copies Crimzo with the two back-to-back in prisons, and that's what you love to see here on the Ignite here. That was awesome.
Oh man, I want to see that again out here. Sentinels, they took the point of nice, fashionable way, and AILANIWIND tried to come in with the portal play. Here comes a supernova, but AILANIWIND having the answer with that invisible boundary, have to avoid the meteor off to the side, completely negates it here, and Sentinels having way more numbers on the side despite losing out on Techie.
Yeah, I mean, goodness. I cannot believe Right Amazing was able to get that elimination on Suppress within the invisible boundary. So he couldn't even see them. Yes, he had the supernova, but that was impressive from Right Amazing, able to get rid of that duelist and all that firepower and really making this a lot easier of a point to continue to capture.
Still slowly leading the way, nearing 60% now. Before making their way back, Jalen will have the Agamotto. Not really a follow-up potential here, though. Still holding on to it with Sentinels on the other end. About to have a few ultimates of their own, looking at Aramori and Crimzo again.
And Crimzo here in this ultimate is going to be huge to set up, especially because their Prince is working on that internal bond. They can use that to negate it, but Crimzo, if he gets it out fast enough, they can stop it. Prince about to get that internal bond. Nectar here trying to get a back hit on the Vanguard, but Jalen really open up with the Agamotto, and they get things rolling as they get, there's the imprisonment right there.
Oh, the strangling prison. Prince, too, that we saw with the internal bond. The ice pick off onto Nectar. Off of the invisible boundary, too. Just shoving it back with the Agamotto from Jalen now. Sentinels still plant their feet on this point, now nearing 96%, but with Suppress finding Aramori, that could start things off here for them.
Yeah, great play there and good ultimate of the invisible boundary from Aramori, but Kurova having one in the bank. Yes, 99% is taken, but we have AILANIWIND getting up to 40% now and doing a little bit of staggering. They only have an invisible boundary with, yes, Magneto charging up, and we have the Wolverine, so they've got enough firepower to fight back and potentially get this thing to 99-99.
They're in a really good position right now, honestly. Even with that 99% that you're currently seeing from Sen, this is Alamori that are looking pretty good. And look at Gomo's positioning, seeing if they could get a kidnap, bring the oppressor over to the other side of the point, closer to AILANIWIND here. It's very amazing now, makes their way out, has that Supernova ready to go.
Getting that wall to close up, get a little bit of pressure. Here's the supernova. Suppress is going to have to do something to stop this. We do have the invisible boundary coming right away, and with that combination of Suppress, yet again, we've got Final Judgment. Can they end this? Goma getting the trade. This is going to be a lot of wins to win and get this point to 99.
Aramori still staying alive, even with the meter hurtled in their direction. Here comes a strangling prison too. Right Amazing following up. Kurova is going to be able to get another pick here. And AILANIWIND, they had everything still ready available for them, but they could not hold it down, nearing 95%.
Yeah, they got the picks that were needed, but unfortunately not enough. All you need sometimes is a human torch combined with a strange ult. Somebody get a fire extinguisher. Amazing. Did great there with
initial shield, as we've seen. And yes, there we go. Still maybe sticking to that triple support with the Ultron here.
Got it.
Yep, absolutely here. Both teams heading in. That portal not being open always throws me off at the beginning. I love the portals of Krakoa. Really mixes things up as both teams heading right for the points. No early aggressive portals this time around. And we've got Ultron. He's coming to town. Let's see what they bring there with Goma.
I like the performance from Goma earlier on that Wolverine. As we get started, though, Korova, it is important to know, has that invisible boundary first. Nectar, too, can make a play happen right here to try to isolate the Magneto, and he does. Immediately deletes Ice, and now with that Eternal Bond, you try to create the space for the rest of AILANIWIND after you lose out on your main tank. Here you have the Wolverine Ultimate 2 coming in from Nectar, and Sentinels easily now are able to claim this point and have Oromari to have that ult ready to go for the next engagement.
That, honestly, I wanted to see a little bit more from Nectar on this specific match. I thought I didn't see exactly what I wanted to on that first map, and there I saw it. Perfect kidnap, great follow-up execution, followed by Korova with the clutch invisible boundary. That's what you want to see. Now AILANIWIND, they've got the ultimate favor. They've got to win this point right now if they hope to beat Sentinels.
He also went for a crazy swap of two. Makes a lot of sense with the Iron Man and Ultron power-up. Suppress now coming in, being able to have that Iron Man ult ready to go. See if we can get the charge pulse here with the entanglement, though, and the supernova combo. Everyone is stuck here together here as Crimzo and Amazing back away. Clobbering time now here for AILANIWIND, and this leads into Oromori being able to use that invisible boundary after having that Loki ult.
Holy fire tornadoes. How they even lived through that alone is insane there. Incredible job from them all together. And Crimzo, yet again, pulling up an incredible elimination on the double. And Prince getting rid of Amazing. They don't have a lot to get rid of that human torch, but great job there. And it's looking like Iron Man, Ultron. It's fun. It may not be working here against Sentinels.
Also helping out the fact that Oromori was out of a lot of that action, just so that way they could help and reset for the rest of Sentinels to stay alive. AILANIWIND try to do the same. They lost some ultimates coming in here.
Yeah, and honestly, they haven't had a chance to really do much because that immediate group ultimate here. We do have the extermination going from Goma. Can they get an important pick? Not a lot of damage coming out, but here is the big Magneto ultimate, the connection. Take it. Hello, welcome to Sentinels. Good to have you as 3 go down, and so do the hopes of winning map 1 for Krakoa.
Literally like a mosquito swatter right there. Just get the Iron Man out of here, and Sentinels with another dominating team fight win. It's all desperate measures, a very different look here for Oromori.
That would make for a great moment in the MCU. Just a big purple ball eliminating giant in the sky. Love to see it. We do have the Venom trying to get a little bit of sustain, trying to get the point. Overtime established. Jalen going down at this point. It's desperation. It's hope. They're trying. Going there is the Iron Man Express trying to get the ultimate off, but unable to. And at this point, they're just trying to make things happen. Venom trying to get their way back to Vicky. Can they get the job done?
Oh, it's a matter of with the Strangling Prison also being available for Crimzo. He keeps everybody over to the side now. Invisible boundary from both sides. And then the kidnap from Nectar. Nectar has been a problem, and the follow-ups from Amazing have also been on another level.
Everybody wants a piece of the pie. I mean, I'm seeing great play from the strategist, from Amazing. All around the newcomers to Sentinels. You love to see it. And just like that, they're doing the job for Amazing, falling in the 1-2. Crimzo finishing it off as we end map 1.
Really all the time. And then every time I see Bucky coming in with the ult, people just standing around without giving. Also, looking at the way that this map layout is, one of my favorite things is the high to low ground disparity, allowing more of that split focus positioning that the defending team could take.
Absolutely. And Amazing opening up. This is an insane spot for Human Torch, just putting so much pressure with the constant fireballs. They have really nowhere to hide, so they have to push forward, and that's exactly what Rai wants them to do. Ice, though, going right away, just pushing with the Thing. Jalen, I like the Thing play here as well. This is a great map for said hero. And Suppress, we're going to get that Hella. This is their nightmare. Sentinels hate Hella. We'll see if it ends up working out for them.
Hey. Scene 2 with Goma staking onto the Wolverine, very similar to what we had seen at the very beginning of our last map. Jalen's trying to find a position here too. Just stalling a little bit against the wall while the rest of Sentinels slowly start building up those ultimates here too.
Yeah, Suppressed really has got to focus on Amazing. That is going to be his single purpose and job because no one else can really reach up. A little bit of poke there with maybe Dagger, but Amazing again having his way, just holding W, throwing out the fire burst, and the team follow up from Zeki and Crismo. Perfect job there and great execution from the Vanguards.
No, Amazing's a problem. He is a problem. If you're AILANIWIND right now, you have to imagine the focus on this torch must start now because you're already down 2 minutes, less than 45 seconds here, and the damage output has just been insane.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ultimates here. Both teams pretty stacked and ready to go. Amazing with that supernova, able to really create some distance and pressure, and there it is, popping it, making the wall. Look at this, making a pseudo group wall, forcing the Luna ult, and it's gone.
Even through fate of both worlds, there is nothing saving you for the wombo combo, the strangling prison into the supernova.
No dancing. There's no dancing allowed here on Central Park. Insane amount of DPS there to shut down a lot of the ultimates. They still have a Channel Bond and the Meteor M, but Sentinels have everything they want right now in favor with 2 minutes on the clock.
Do you hear Teki too? Also with that Meteor looking at Ice as well. Prince starting the engagement though, first with the internal bond, and then you see the invisible boundary as the Magneto ult comes in, sees if they can try to find an angle, hugs against the wall, and then Iramori too. With that God of Mischief, everybody getting stunned for here as the follow-up comes in from Goma. That was beautiful here. It's collaborative time. AILANIWIND, they're calling to get this moving.
It was looking all Sentinels. That was it. That was the story. That map was going to end, swap sides, and wrap it up. But Goma with the quad on Wolverine. That is why you play Logan. You love to see it. And just like that, 4 more minutes of play.
That was a beautiful follow-up here. We're going to get this going. Going to be swinging around Nectar, being on that Wolverine himself. Crimzo does have that ultimate ready to go here with the Strangling Prison. He activates it immediately right afterwards. No wombo combo that we saw earlier on from Amazing, but he does have a Supernova ready to go here. He's just going to wait at this point for the fate of both worlds to end up, just so that way they can keep controlling this corner.
Yeah, K-Drill's doing a great little ult there, but there's the Supernova. They did not combine it this time, a little bit spread out, but they're going to be able to get enough done. But Eternal Bomb keeping them alive. Great use of the ultimates. They're forced to respond. Kurova throwing up the invisible boundary, and Amazing now just trying to get that pick on the strategist. But in turn, Goma and Ice get the flip of the switch, and just like that, they're getting that pressure and momentum they wanted.
That MVP play right there was Prince all the way around. The cycle through the ults between their own Luna Snow Fate of both worlds having to be used just slightly earlier, and then the internal bond right there just helped AILANIWIND stay alive.
Yeah, and guess what? All you need sometimes is a Wolverine ultimate. We just saw that with Goma. He's got one. That's all they have. That's all they need. They also have the thing ready to go if they need to use that ultimate as well. And look at this. I love the stalking of the animal, just like Wolverine is.
And of course, the map boundaries too. You have to imagine just breaking that wall right underneath their feet, preventing a surprise attack, but they still were able to isolate. Isolation from both sides. A surprise gets 2 over to the side. The backline wiped out. Following up with Sentinels, though, it's a trade from both sides. AILANIWIND so incredibly low, but they're still able to sustain.
They got to take Goma out. He's going crazy and holding the fort down, feasting off those group walls, getting that easy rage. But Amazing does put that light out as the torch was able to get the job done. 2 minutes left. They're going with aggression again. Back-to-back double shield bros up front, taking the fight to them.
And with Prince staying alive too, you needed that port so that way Prince could have some safety before getting staggered. Rest of AILANIWIND now move all the way up. Ice does have that Meteor M ready to go, and Amazing having that Supernova may have to be that target here if you can look over to the other side. And then your Fate of both worlds now activate from K-Jules, still being able to stay alive, navigating around with Nectar being the first out from the initial start of this engagement. Crimzo also getting staggered, stunned because of Goma. Goma continues to be a problem.
Wow, I gotta say, Crimson's having a rough time with Goma right now, really answering the call. Great defensive ult there from Ice, shutting down Human Torch just for a quick second. And altogether, the play here, AILANIWIND, I like what I'm seeing. Beautiful play. Everybody's doing their part. Go out there, have some fun. And we're seeing that Goma is having a blast. And it's all led with Prince and some great strategic play.
And the way that the strategists have been cycling through... Oh, all right, he's going to just slowly fall back around. And the way that strategists have been pacing around their own ultimates here. Looking at what we have on board for Sentinels, another slight lag here as Jalen now comes in with the Agamotto, the follow-up to take care of the palm. That is right, amazing. Then we find Aramori at the same time here. And Nectar does get one pick, and again, as she goes, suppresses, sings, and he dances.
That is what Bucky does well, and that was so important for them to do because Torch can just set up the flame walls on that stair, and it's so hard to get through there. Perfect Agamotto. Yes, the lanterns went out. It was not enough, and then you've got the reset on the Loki clones. Suppress getting the job done. Doesn't need Punisher. They push through this final point. Let's see if they can grab it.
And that Kraken impact, I really do be hearing that in my nightmares for real. And also when you talk about the last point here, just getting through this choke could be difficult when you have Amazing flying around the pillars just for some makeshift cover. Here comes the meteor of them coming in from Techie, going over to the side, doesn't find a hit just yet. Remori does have the God of Mischief. Gonna be able to try to copy that. Crimzo is gonna be able to follow up. It's collaborate time and finding Suppress. May hold back AILANIWIND just for now.
Yeah, and it's important not to use too many ults here. They're going to have at least one more fight as AILANIWIND is charging up all their ultimate economy, but they did use that K-Jules Luna ult to keep everyone alive. There's the invisible boundary, and Techie taking down both Jules, and there goes Ice, and they're going to do a reset most likely. Prince is going to trade. Roma, though, getting rid of himself, keeping the passive. This is important here for Wolverine to keep that passive as they set up for one last fight, Vicky.
France is still alive, but this is a very big stagger. That's unfortunate, but you got at least less than a minute on the clock to reset, try to go in for that next fight.
Yeah, sometimes they just let the person live, and Prince probably tried their best to get out of there, and unfortunately they did a good job to stagger them. But great job in awareness from Goma to reset. Goma has 61%. We saw what that Wolf ult can do. That Meteor M, though, is going to be huge. Look at Sentinels. They have nothing in Strategist ultimate to respond.
See if that adamantium is just enough for Goma to help keep AILANIWIND in their foundation right now. Techie also having that Meteor Crimzo with the color time. It's a trade from both sides between Jalen and Crimzo, but it is AILANIWIND that suffer the most casualties.
Though that ultimate was pressed at the exact same time. Great setup for the thing ult. Unfortunately, Techie showing who was the stronger. Magneto, they've got a portal, got stuck on the top end and unable to secure. But you know what? If you're AILANIWIND, great freaking push. It was not looking good at the beginning, Mori, but I want to, shout out Prince, K-Jules, 30k plus healing. They are locking it down and doing an incredible job at that. And some of that was, a lot of that wasn't from the Luna ult because that went away pretty quick as we saw. Here's their defensive effort. Can they hold them?
See here. Here, kitty. Gonna yeet the Wolverine as Nectar comes in from the skies. It's a bird of plane. No, it's your Wolverine kidnapping your Magneto. He's got the bubble ready to go, and even with some protection, the damage output is just way too much from Sentinels.
Yeah, great job here as they're getting that pressure built right away. This is the opposite of the story that we saw from AILANIWIND. Nectar, the job done early as Wolverine forced him to be pushed back. That point getting capped. You know what? You got plenty of space. You don't want them to get in too much, but you don't want to trade. It's a careful battle, but they are going down one by one. And now, unfortunately, you have the full reset that they're going to have to do to try to stop them on this path.
The way that they're just yeeting Nectar to clear space again. Oh, no, that's not the bullet I want to deal with on the opposite end. And then you don't just kidnap the tanks. You have to kidnap Prince while you're at it. Following up from Crimzo. This is the different playmaking abilities now that we're currently seeing Sentinels being so well coordinated with.
Now, Nectar heard us gassing up Goma, and he's like, you know what? I'll show you some Wolverine of my own. All right, okay, let me show you what I got. Amazing has just been doing an incredible job because there's so much responsibility for Torch. You're able to do damage, but just that pressure and zoning and poke that you can do is why he's still such a good hero, even after some heavy nerfs to his abilities here. We're riding the first quarter. This is a tough one to get. We'll see if they'll push through here.
K-Jules does have that Fate of Both Worlds initiated already here. Gotta watch out for that Magneto Meteor, though. Finds the shot onto K-Jules. Just enough damage for Amazing to be that finishing blow. And with the clobbering time, finding 3, sends 4 right back to the spawn with Techie getting that follow-up.
Techie doesn't need any abilities, just the good old poke and damage from Magneto, what makes him so great. He got a triple showcasing that aim, and Techie really showing up here as a great finisher to this team. Sentinels coming together as one. They've got to do something here to stop. They cannot let them get through this.
And with the supernova here too, Prince calls in the invisible boundary. Meteor drops down. Nice save out here too, right through the double invisible boundary. Looking like a Venn diagram out here. You have to look forward to the other side. Nectar comes in as well as 100 rage, sending them all the way back. And it's another team fight win in favor for Sentinels. And they are just breezing through this point. 5 minutes on the clock and even more staggers.
The Vanguards took that personally. Crimso and Techie really stepping up. And unfortunately, these Meteor Imps have not been connecting for Ice. There's been a couple crucial connections that unfortunately did not get that landing. And look at this. We've got the fastball special. Can we get Nectar going and being thrown up? Maybe taking out Goma? That would be the play of the century.
This is always my favorite team up to see out and play. This is always great to see that repositioning here, throwing out the Wolverine. Yeet. Grover dropping down, unexpected position. Oh, but the answer to stop him, actually expecting Nectar, the adaptation of potential that we just saw there from AILANIWIND as they make their own changes within their own hero lineup.
I love it right here too. Got this high ground, but there's the defensive stop, and my gosh, the Meteor him gets stopped and its tracks. It does stop a brutal Iron Man ult, but you do have extermination. Goma trying to get pressure on Nectar, able to be taken out Ice there off the map. And at this point, they're just trying to do anything, throw everything at this team to not let them up the stair.
Oh no, Prince was caught trying to jump away in time, up in the air. Kidnaps all the way down, right back in the middle. It's clobbering time here as AILANIWIND also have K-Jules, Fate of Both Worlds to keep this team alive right through Amazing Supernova.
So Nectar's on like 5,000 sensitivity. I just saw his Wolverine POV. That was up. He took her right into that little ult. Unfortunately, was able to get the connection afterward. And AILANIWIND did a great job. They did well, but Sentinels, they went crazy. They took that personally and ended this matchup, making it yet another 2-0